Okay, of course, another exciting in the sauna. Well, in the sauna techniques, protocols, all different things that we share, and sometimes philosophy, and just sometimes a lot of things. So we're going to see where this goes, but I want to introduce to you here, beautiful girl. Her name is Melody.
Hi guys.
As you can tell, she's not from here.
I'm far north Queensland in Australia. So I've been here with Dr. Cassar and Dr. Murray for nearly 2.5 months now, and yeah, it's been fabulous.
Tell them what you're doing here.
Well, I'm working as an intern here with both Dr. Cassar and Dr. Murray, so I've learnt a lot. You know, I'm working with the patients at the retreat. I'm helping Dr. Cassar out with some of his businesses. Doing a bit of everything.
Helping me on the computer.
Mm-hmm.
And tapes, this, that. She's a pretty smart cookie.
Do a bit of cleaning, go into the garden.
Coconuts.
Coconuts. Lots of exercise, lots of time in the sweat box here.
Mm-hmm.
And overall, yeah, really...
So you've been here 2.5 months. Tell them what's happened in 2.5 months with you.
Well, in 2.5 months, you know, the first month there was a little bit of orientation, and we had patients here, so I spent quite a bit of time with them and working on all the protocols that we do here at the retreat, and then I decided to go into my own fast and did the water fast, followed by 8 rounds of chelation therapy, 8 rounds of EDTA, and I just finished that about a week or 10 days ago.
Do you know what EDTA stands for?
I do, but I can't say it. Can you?
Ethylene diamine tetracetic acid, and it's amino acid, and it really helps support taking garbage out of your system, especially when you push it up from a deep massage, which we've done with each other, to just drying yourself out and not really having too much food in your system, because the EDTA grabs anything it can. And if you haven't eaten any pollutants, any contaminants, and you haven't had anything but water, and you've got most of them out of you, a lot of them that are superficial, EDTA works magical. So you don't just take it, you actually have a protocol to follow too.
So that was great, watching the patients go through the protocols and then doing them myself, and feeling what they were feeling. And with the EDTA, like Dr. Cassar said, just following protocols afterwards. And I noticed quite a big difference in my general well-being anyway. It helped my energy levels. I was like...
Well, you've been going in the waterfalls too, you've been hitting the sunlight here, you've been breathing really super clean oxygen, swimming in oceans, with whales. That was a pretty good experience we had.
It was the best day ever.
Tell them about that, just 2 seconds.
Not if, but when you come to the Big Island, you have to go out on a boat with humpback whales. I didn't really know what to expect. I knew we were going to see some amazing animals, but the next thing we're in the water and we're swimming with these incredible beings, just listening to them sing under the water. And you know, we were very respectful and we kept a distance. We were just sort of floating up above them.
And how many whales were with each other? What kind of whales? Big ones, little ones?
Yeah, well, we had like the little baby whale
with
the mum and dad, and then we had a group of the real big ones with the white fins on them. So we had about 2 or 3 different groups. I think there was just maybe a couple in the beginning, then the family, and then the big ones which were down deep. We were only snorkeling too. We were not
snorkeling with a mask.
We were not diving, so we were not intruding on them at all. We were just floating really peacefully on the top of the water.
Floating in their world though, because the water was so deep there and so pristine, and there's everything out there swimming too, so you have to really, you know, sort of get out of your head that it's 1,000 feet below you, and then there's big tiger sharks and just all other things, because you're going to crawl in and see something spectacular, and if you don't right now, you're going to miss, you're going to, you know, just real feel bad that you didn't do it.
The colour of the water was just incredible, wasn't
like blue
it?
purple.
I mean,
I've never seen
been
a color
around
like
the
that
world,
before.
and I've never seen a colour like that either. So it was incredible experience. Like,
now it's 150 degrees in the box here. I'm getting worked here. I got the door cracked open just a sec. 150 degrees, and I set this when I came in at 100, so 83. I've been in here about 17 minutes. Now Melody's been in here about 10 minutes before me, right?
About 27 minutes.
And we have our arsenal of different types of things that we're pull the light over here just a little bit. There we go. We have a different whole set of different tools that we're going to do some different types of things that, remember, it's really not hard to learn these techniques. You just got to try them and do them and just sort of play it by ear. You're just getting guided. You never did this stuff before, right?
No.
Pretty darn good at it now.
And it's probably one of the biggest things I've learned since I've been here is using the sauna for all of its, all of its blessings, like excreting the toxins from the pores and cleaning the skin. Like using the sauna and cleaning the skin is just, I've been watching you for quite a few years and following a lot of your protocols except this, because I didn't have access to a sauna and I just kind of didn't worry too much about the skin cleaning. Now that I'm doing it, I'm like, wow. And go out in the sun all day, you don't get burned.
Yeah, and you don't have to go ahead and actually change your diet to do it. All you have to do is you have to just practice a little bit, learn some of the techniques, and really do it for about 6 months. And also, we also do different techniques by using scruff pads, by taking off the top layer of the skin, and different types of tools that we have, different spoons. We call them gouaching spoons. And these are, some of them are sharp, some of them are dull, okay? And you use this to open up the tissue underneath. She's got one too.
But it's also really satisfying to see all that gunk coming out, like the pus. When you see it coming out, it's so satisfying.
It's crazy.
When you get out afterwards, you have a cold shower or you get into the cold waterfall, you feel so invigorated.
Now, I've only been here not even 20 minutes. And look, I got a river of sweat going down me, okay? So, it's not opening the doors cheating. Okay, look, let me show you. I open the door up like this just to let some fresh air in here because, let me tell you, you can get dizzy really easy. And try to drink every 3 or 4 minutes. Try to drink like 10 sips, not just 1 or 2. Try to put it down, remember, because once you stop sweating, it's because you're dry inside your body. So you got to constantly put in water because you're urinating it through your skin. So an important little experiment to do is come into the sauna, and you have to really urinate. You have to really go to the bathroom. And a lot of people, remember, they don't even sweat after 20 minutes, like when you first started.
Yeah. I started, it was about 20 to 25 minutes, and now I'm down to 8 to 10 minutes. Which
means your pores are opening up, and a lot of the stuff wants to come out. So the simple experiment is to... I forgot what I was going to say. What was I just talking about?
Open the door, close it, and then see how long till you just start to sweat.
We got so much stuff we want to talk about.
So I don't know if the experiment's related to how long it takes.
Let's see, the experiment. There's so many different experiments, and this one was going to be a good one too, but...
It'll come back.
It'll come back. So, anyways, we are going to do a variety of different areas that we all need to open up and break open, especially if you're into yoga or trying to figure out how to unwind your body and make your wrists and your elbows and your knees and your toes and your neck and your back all more flexible. You got to help it along. It doesn't just come by changing your diet.
Yeah.
So Melody's been a trooper. She goes to yoga. She does every crazy thing that basically makes sense to her mind because it's not crazy. Okay? And these are all therapeutic benefits, but you got to try them first. And before you make any decisions and saying, I don't want to sweat, Melody doesn't smell one bit, okay? You know what? Since she's been here, she's got tons of garbage out of her system, especially how long do you do your water fast?
5 days.
And that's pretty good. Try to not eat any food for 5 days.
It was tough.
It was tough. Exactly.
But it was good.
What did you feel your biggest benefit was from doing that water fast?
Probably just reducing the hunger. But I really felt toxins moving out of my body, and just to have the relaxation of the intestines and everything just slowing down, and you don't realize how much time you spend every day collecting and preparing and eating food until you don't do it.
And going
then your
to the bathroom
whole
too.
day opens up in front of you and you have so much time. I had a lot of emotional stuff coming out while I was fasting, so I was crying and
Everybody usually does. That's good though. It means you're moving energy around.
some really good release emotionally.
But really, what a lot of people tell me is when they get done with their fast, is they get more clarity. And that's something that a lot of times we don't want to talk about because it can't be quantified only until you hear that person speak or the way they are acting and feeling. It's just they're more in tune. They've cleaned themselves. They went through a ketogenic state. Took you, what, 3 days?
2 days.
2?
Yeah, not even. Like 1.5.
Tell them what ketogenic is, just so a lot of people, they hear this stuff and they don't know what it means.
Well, I mean, going into ketosis, I mean, I'm not a doctor, so from what Dr. Mari has taught me, going into ketosis is basically the body showing you that it's shut down, correct?
Well, what happens after 3 days, everything that used to eat fuel that you supplied for it now has to switch gears and turn in reverse. So the ketogenesis is for your body to not have fuel, and what it does after about 2 days, 3 days, somewhere around there, sometimes people 4, because sometimes people cheat. They have chocolate bars and stuff on the side. They don't want to tell anybody, but they're yeast, mold, fungus, and candida. Those are the ones, those are the reasons being why people throw up and feel really weird. Okay, so once you go through this, I guess, it's not fasting is what I call it. You're just terrain modifying without any food. Your body starts to eat itself.
And eats the fat.
It eats all the garbage. And what is fat? Fat is a creature. And all the pesticides, insecticides, and of course, it's very smart. Remember, right after this and sometimes during it, depends. It depends on how healthy you are, is to reintroduce live probiotic bacteria back into your system. Kombuchas are different strains that we drink.
Water kefir, it's really good.
The kefir water.
Now I'm adding in that bit of kombucha and some of the probiotic, the tablet. It's really powerful, and I've been having like a good like 2 glasses of that every day.
So when you get off this ketogenic diet, the secret is, because you got to really tell these to these people, because you know the people that actually do this fasting, they do it anywhere from 7 days to up to 32 days. We've done people here. And the first thing is refeeding. And when you're refeeding, you don't feed back with sugar. Remember, you're trying to stay in a ketogenic state, but now go ahead and figure out how to process higher level of energies, which are fats, good fats. So if you're eating meat, then you'd want to at least go to grass-fed stuff, okay? But you wouldn't want to eat any of that stuff now anyways. Remember, you're trying to refeed yourself with just new bacteria. Trying to refeed yourself, so the colonization of the different bacteria that you actually have in your stomach now, they'll process the new food supply that you're going to introduce to yourself. Yeah, you'll go through some turbulence, but don't eat like you did before.
Yeah, you have to be a little bit careful when you start refeeding.
Everything tastes so good.
You were thinking about it quite a few times during the fast, and then you have access to it, and you can tend to get, if you're not careful, you can tend to eat too much.
We put niacin in our water, and also I put in each of our waters we put 5 drops of MMS, which is a sodium hypochlorite chloride solution mixed with acetic acid like lemon, and it turns into chlorine dioxin, which is a very potent antibacterial. It's basically it's a potent poison, and so we take it in very low quantities. And this has helped me very substantially, and many people that I've turned this on to. And you've taken quite a bit of this stuff. What does it have? You feel it's helped you with?
I've usually taken it when I'm not well, like have some sort of an illness. I haven't been not well all that often, but also just taking it for general detox.
Exactly. So what I do is I try to take it. If I feel any type of assault on my body at all, I got a sore throat.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't care if I talked all day yesterday. My immune system's weak. I just went ahead and used all my energy up. I didn't sleep well, whatever it is. Parasites only can invade you because your energy field says they can. So when I have a low energy output sometimes, but I haven't been sick in years. Okay, the only sickness I ever get, and it's not a sickness, but I feel it from breathing the chemtrails, is when I go back to California. I just feel really constricted in my lungs. So I take 5 drops every week or so, sometimes every 2 weeks, and you can do enemas with this. And 5 drops of this solution, a little bottle costs $20. And 5 drops of the solution, basically what you do is you just squeeze in like 10 or 20 drops of lemon, very acidy lemon, per drop. And so if I have 5 drops, I put in like 50, 60 drops or so. It doesn't matter. More is better than less of the lemon. And wait about 3 to 5 minutes or so, mix it around, and put a top on it if you want to see it steam sometimes, because it'll start smoking a little bit. And smell it. It smells sort of like chlorine. And this stuff is a fantastic addition to your arsenal for, if you get sick or you just don't feel good, or you want to put it on your skin externally because you've got a cut, you've got bacteria infection. You want to spray the stuff in your pillow even because you've got bed bugs and weird stuff.
It's really good for burns too. Straight
Exactly.
MMS onto the burn will just take away the sting immediately.
But you got to make it first though. You can't just pour the stuff on there, right?
I've used it straight.
You mean that
Just for burns, yeah.
Oh, no, I'm talking about mix it first. Like, you got to make it first. You got to put the sodium chloride in with the citric acid. You can't just pour the one part on, right?
Well, I do.
Okay. If you want it full potency.
Just for burns, not for anything else, just for burns.
If you want full potency, you always mix them together, because sodium chloride, just like sodium bicarbonate, they wipe out a lot of stuff just that alone without actually combining anything. But if you want to get more of the full effect, 5 drops is a pretty strong solution when you mix it up, and put about 50 drops of lemon in there, and you can use that straight on a burn and put it in the sponge and let it sit on there and clean the dressing. Okay, that really helps, because the reason why heals don't go ahead and heal is because there's microbes inside eating the brand new cells, and so that makes scar tissue, as you call it. So this makes it so the flesh-eating bacteria, because that's what they are, Staphylococcus, Streptococcus, all these different types of fungi, they eat flesh, they eat skin. Okay, so if you wipe them out of there and change the terrain so they can't live there, then your body will heal itself really quickly with way less scar too. So, okay, before we get going here, we're going to do a couple different techniques, like I said, to sort of release your body, like when you're running. Okay, you have ribs, and your ribs, when you breathe, they need to expand as you breathe, and they need to contract as you not. And if there any type of constriction, like putting a belt on you and putting it on it tight, and then put maybe one more belt notch, and then go try to run 100 yards, you can't. So what this does, we'll show the technique, and you want to do this over time, because it's very sore on most people, because they got a lot of scar tissue, because everybody breathes through their mouth when they exercise or when they're stressed. Okay, so you're going to learn how to breathe through your nose only, and this is going to retrain your chest to start to make it feel like when you exercise it's fun instead of torture, because you can't breathe. So then I've had this common problem, and this is where Melody she has wrist tightness, and she's doing more advanced yoga poses right now. And what do you feel in your wrist? Like they're sort of stuck, like they're pinching, right?
Yeah, well, I've only just started learning handstands, and it feels like they're locking and
pinching.
Yeah, as much as I try to put all the power like into my fingers, it seems it just feels calcified in the wrist. It's stiff and like calcified.
Like it's lacking motion.
Yeah,
it's pinching,
absolutely.
It's binding up.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is, what she needs to do is to soften that up. We'll talk about using fulvic acid, because that's a dissolving agent. You don't just put it on once. You put it on like 3 times a day for a couple weeks. So I'll show you how to do that. And also, everybody carries a lot of tension in the jaw. So it's hard for most people. They can't even smile. Why? Because their jaw's so tight from cringing, from whatever reason being. Doesn't matter. Okay? A lot of cringing even at night when you sleep. So we're going to break apart some of the masseter muscles, which are basically part of the responsibility of you being able to smile easily instead of force a smile out, because everything's stuck in there. And wherever else we go, nobody knows, but we'll see. Try to go ahead and actually watch all the other videos that we do in the sauna. Okay, and sometimes we go over the same thing twice. Doesn't matter. We have a different layer that you can see, because you want to have comfortability about how to do this, and watching it several times makes you comfortable. Now, how long would it take you to sort of feel comfortable, sort of scratching yourself up and bruising yourself a little bit? And I don't see too many bruises on you that much anymore.
All the bruises are nearly gone now. It took, like, the first 2 weeks, I was crying, literally crying my eyes out. The first time Dr. Murray did my chest,
it hurt a lot.
This emotion in my neck, bruised up, and it hurt so much that I felt almost violated or something.
Yeah.
So I was really angry with her, but I forgave her for that, and now I can do it myself. But probably 2 to 3 weeks, I'd say it took me. Actually, the legs, you saw how much my legs were bruising. That took 2 months.
And how long do the bruises last?
Probably 2 or 3
2
days.
days. Do they hurt? They just look
No,
ugly.
they don't hurt. They look ugly,
They
and
just look
people
ugly.
always look at you as if
Especially if I'm walking around at the farmer's market.
going on.
If I'm walking at the farmer's market with her, somebody that we did some gouache on, they're looking at me, looking at her, going, "Okay, you guys, I don't see any of his bruises, so I see she's got some secrets in her closet."
You have to tell the masseur beforehand, because otherwise
That's
they
what I
think
do.
someone's beating up on you. But it's good when you see the bruises. It's good because you know all the blood's coming to the surface and it's moving, and you're
Exactly.
getting beneath that layer that you need to get to really start pulling out the pussy stuff.
We put about 125 milligrams. Boy, the niacin, that's why I'm rubbing my head a lot. It's working me. You said it wouldn't affect you. We put 125 milligrams in our water, and I put 5 drops of the MSM already made, and I put that in the water too, with some more lemon on top of that, with some minerals, silica. And
Are you flushing?
yeah, I was gonna say, I can feel it. My eyes get swollen when I do niacin. They get all like swollen, and it just brings fluid. And
Niacin's
blood
amazing.
is amazing because it really,
Really,
lets go a lot of weird stuff that your nerves can't grow out of, because you need niacin B3 for your nerves actually to function and actually grow.
And I took that quite a few times before the EDTA, before the IV therapies. I was taking like 300 milligrams before I had the IV, just to help it in.
Exactly. And these are all, remember, everything's a work in progress. Doing the IV therapies is like sort of cheating, you know, because what you're doing is trying to get stuff out like plasticizers and nickel and arsenic and pesticides, insecticides, herbicides, fungicides, all these different types of contaminants.
Goes on and on. I had mercury fillings removed about 10 years ago, so a lot of that was lodged in my organs, in my brain.
Everywhere.
I could feel it. I could feel it.
Mine too.
I knew it was there.
I had 14 fillings, remember, and this is where you got to be really smart, guys. You got to be smart, because if you're trying to get healthy and stay healthy, you got to look right in your mouth right there.
Yeah.
Okay? Because if you don't, then you're not understanding that. Watch the video called Smoking Fillings, and you'll see how these fillings off-gas and smoke just by your room temperature of your body. So, you know, one of the best things you can do, and you go through a lot of weird experiences. I cried too. When I went through my system, I cried in front of the fireplace a bunch of times, and I thought I was sort of weird, but I just let it out. Had different things flash through my head, from situations to just whatever.
I had a lot of flashes and pictures and memories and so much.
Just like sort of letting everything go.
Yeah,
That's what it
yeah,
does. Change your frequency, you raise to the vibration, you rise to the occasion, and all that low-level emotional baggage, garbage, whatever you want to call it, keep the experience, keep the wisdom of it, but let it go.
Yeah.
Let all the
And
negativity
like you
and weird.
said, it could be yours, or it could come from
Yeah.
lineage, or it could come from anywhere. Because I thought I didn't have any. You know, I'm such a free, sort of carefree, easygoing person, and yeah.
You're
crying my
connected to
eyes
your,
out.
you got brothers and sisters, you got a mommy and daddy, okay, they got children, you're connected to everybody. So when you clean yourself, then what happens is you become sort of like the vortex of cleaning the whole family out, because your DNA opens up the porthole to let a lot of stuff out. So if that's your job, then it's going to work you a lot of different ways. Just know it's going to leave, and know that everybody else around you that you're connected to is going to actually feel much better. Why? Because of a lot of the work that you've done by opening up portholes and different energy pathways to let other things go that actually you're connected to. And this is all weird stuff to listen to, but it's not. Remember, it's an interdimensional system here, so don't think small. Yeah, we live in a 100 trillion star system, which is a little tiny little galaxy called the Milky Way. And there's billions of other known galaxies in the universe, made up of billions of other universes, and all this stuff called the Omniverse, and they have computer models of this, and it's a big picture. So play evolution, and respect your body, respect your mind, respect your friends, respect your relationships, okay? Respect your toys, like this far infrared sauna. Clean it when you're done. Go to the bathroom. Make sure everything's all cleaned up and ready to go for the next person. Why? Because that's the way you run your life when you actually get clear. You don't want to leave anything sit there and fester, and sit there and cobweb up, you know? You notice that? things that are out of place now bother you a little more
Yeah.
than they did previously because you're way clearer.
Absolutely. That's another change that a lot of people make, I find, when they come here. They clean up their act in the way that they're happy to jump up and make their bed first thing in the morning and clean the toilet after they've used it and clean up after themselves in the kitchen.
Whatever it takes to be able to just walk through, so you can be like, sort of like kung fu. Remember Kwai Ching King? You walk on a piece of rice paper, you're not supposed to leave any marks on it when you're actually conscious, or at least small marks, but don't rip the rice paper.
And you walk more lightly, you walk more consciously.
Yeah, nature becomes miraculous because everything you see now all of a sudden is something you couldn't see just a little while before. What a, you know, Melody's been helping with a lot of stuff, but at the same time, she's helping me with a lot of stuff because we all have special virtues to share, all of us. Everybody's at the beach right now, right? You could have went. And look, she's in the box here sweating. Why? Because it's good. It feels good. It actually, when you're done, the rest of your day, man, is glorious.
I love it in the box. I used to hate it and now I love it. And even the hot yoga. I used to think I was going to die in that room.
Me too.
And then, you know, even Dr. Mari said to me, eventually you'll learn to love it. And you do, because you know that it's exactly what you need. It's like doing a workout. Well, it is.
There's some peppermint here. I like to keep on putting peppermint in because peppermint super cleans you and it energizes you, and it makes you feel like the heat doesn't bother you as much. And the heat here, my face swells up. I mean, heat really attacks me. I mean, same with cold. So there's a special temperature that I love, and it's the temperature of the Big Island. Perfect temperature for me. So when I lived in California before, a lot of times I didn't want to do the sweat box. It's too cold. It took an hour just to heat it up because the outside was 40 degrees. So, you know, I wanted to try to, hey Leah, I wanted to try to go ahead and do things sometimes when it's cold and don't feel like exercising. And in the winter, you know what, it's cold, it's windy, and that's fine. But in the summer, it's sometimes too hot, and in the spring, it's beautiful. And the seasons are cool, but it makes me so, I got to be selective on a lot of things that I do. I can't bike ride this time, so in Hawaii, I can do anything pretty much I want here, as long as it's in the world that Hawaii can give. Water, sports, swimming, hiking.
The weather here is just incredible. And the beautiful rain at night time.
Yeah, rainbows.
It's like someone's just up there switching on the water at night time, putting the sun out every day.
Ridiculous.
It's perfect. The weather is perfect.
And you walk around and what do you see? Food everywhere.
Food everywhere. Papaya trees along the side of the road.
Bananas everywhere.
Pineapples.
Coconuts.
Banana trees everywhere. Coconuts everywhere.
Guavas.
It's just abundance is what you see. Abundance of fresh, organic, beautiful food.
So we're going to go to part 2, and then we're going to do techniques now. And so this is nice to be able to see other people like Melody, myself. You all need a companion, really, to make this fun. Doing it by yourself is cool because sometimes you don't feel that you've got something to share with someone else. But once you learn this stuff a little bit, this is a cool idea to share with your friends, man. The best secrets in town is to be healthy. It's like the best secret in town. Best thing in town is what? To practice green stuff?
Yeah. And the best thing if you've got a sauna buddy is then you can go out afterwards and step on each other.
Exactly.
You need to, and we should do a video on stepping on each other.
No, for sure.
It's so simple and it's so effective.
And she's saying stepping on each other because that's what I call it too. It's like squeeze each other. What you're trying to do is squeeze out the pus, I call it, in the muscles.
But so they understand, you're literally stepping on the person. The person lays down on the ground and then you get up with a little, like a walker. And you step on them. And it's the best massage I've ever had. And I've had a lot of massages.
And you take off pressure, and the person who's doing it has to learn it a little bit, but it's very simple. There's a few things that you got to learn, like, you know, 11th and 12th rib, because they float, not to step on that area too aggressive. And the older someone is, the more fragile you got to go ahead and play with them first before you start digging in them. Because everybody, let me tell you, this is something that everybody needs to do.
And when they come, people come here and they learn that technique. Every single one of them says, I'm going to take this home. I'm going to help my wife, my kids, my partner. And we're going to do it every night.
That's the way I used to do it. I used to have my kids step on me both at the same time. And I used to put a little backpack on my kids on their back to give them a little bit more weight. So, you know, this is something that, you know, you talk about picking off the ticks if you're a gorilla off your companion. Playing this evolutionary game is really fun. Go out in nature, walk, okay? Do some things that actually you wouldn't do normally because the matrix is pulling you into what? Make some more money, maybe more responsibility. So don't take too many more responsibilities. Give some more space for yourself so you can sort of enjoy your other part of yourself. Sometimes you don't even know that's there because you're so busy. Remember, the flowers are beautiful. Stop, look at them and smell them. You know, it takes a while, and you know that actually you start to slow down your brain when you come here is because plants now all of a sudden say, take a look at me.
Yeah.
You know, and sort of, again, interdimensionality. If you think your eyes are just for yourself, how about a plant uses us, we're your stewards, to see itself? It's an antenna. As I look at the plant finally sees itself, what it looks like through my eyes. Remember, we're just antenna. The plants are antenna. So this is an interdimensional type of idea, and infinite possibilities are always true in this layer, so don't think small. Remember, we have the most advanced eyes around, so don't think that other layers can't utilize them with us. So, you know, talking about interdimensionality is a little weird. It's okay, guys. There's lots of movies that you can learn. So you can see that these are true concepts. All right, you ready to get work done? All right, there we go. And I'm so glad the phone didn't even shut off. It must like me better now because it usually doesn't like the heat, and it says overheat. Perfect. Okay, let's give him one of these. I can't do it. There, we got to stretch that finger out. There we go. All right, aloha.
Important reminder. All information and ideas are for informational purposes only and are in no way intended as medical advice or as a substitute for medical counseling. Earthshift Products, Dr. Robert Cassar, all of their partners, affiliates, and subsidiaries will not be held accountable for the use or misuse of the information presented therein. This information is not intended as medical advice. The authors, publishers, and speakers of this work are not medical doctors and do not recommend the use of mineral-deficient foods, drugs, or medicines to achieve beauty and to alleviate health challenges. Because there is always some risk involved, all persons involved with the development and distribution of this information are not responsible for any adverse effects or consequences of any kind resulting from the use or misuse of any suggestions or procedures described on our website or Earthshift Live radio talk show or therein.